Hospitalizations are on the rise in 37 states as the highly contagious Delta variant surges across the country. Trevor Alt has more from Tennessee.
This morning, the American Academy of Pediatrics contradicting guidance from the CDC, saying all kids returning to the classroom need to mask up.
We learned a lot this past year, and one of the things we learned is that masking works.
The AAP's new guidance recommending children over the age of 2 wear masks regardless of vaccination status, coming as some schools are back in session. These pictures showing maskless Arizona students starting their new year after some districts there already decided to allow kids to come back without them.
We are hopeful we have a safe and effective vaccine for younger children before the year is over.
As of now, only children 12 and over can get the vaccine.
The feasibility of determining a verified level who's vaccinated and who's not among students is really going to be challenging.
But at least 9 states are attempting to block mask mandates from reaching their schools. This as the country battles a contagious Delta variant. The weekly average number of cases in the U.S. up nearly 300% in the past month. Nearly every state seeing increasing COVID cases. In Florida, one hospital system raising its COVID threat to high after seeing its hospitalizations more than double in the past 2 weeks. For top doctors, vaccinations are still the answer.
And Diane, of course, a child doesn't have to be infected with COVID-19 to be profoundly impacted by it. This morning, ABC News has obtained exclusive unpublished data from the CDC that says over the course of the pandemic, an estimated 119,000 children have lost a primary caregiver to a COVID-19 associated death. Diane.
Sad stat. Trevor Alt, thanks for that. Let's bring in epidemiologist and ABC News medical contributor Dr. Todd Ellerin for more on this. Dr. Todd, thanks for being here. How do you make sense of all of this? Because this seems like conflicting guidance on masks in schools. The CDC says vaccinated students and teachers don't have to wear masks. Now the AAP says everyone in schools should wear masks. So what do you recommend?
Yeah, good morning, Diane. I think this is interesting. When viral dynamics are such that cases are rising and you have a substantial part of the population that's unvaccinated, still most children are, then I think it does make sense what the American Academy of Pediatrics is saying, add that level of safety and consider masking for when you're in school. At the same time, the CDC guidance of saying that if you're fully vaccinated, you're really protected and therefore you don't necessarily have to mask. I think that's okay as well. With that said, overall, cases are on the rise. A lot of unvaccinated children. You may not know who's vaccinated and who's not. I think it makes sense right now to consider masking indoors.
Now, what about for people who had COVID, right? They may not be vaccinated, but they say, well, I already have immunity because I already had it.
Well, so, they're right. They do have immunity. But the question is, would it be better if they got more immunity? And we know that the vaccine actually raises those key antibodies to a higher level than the actual virus does. So I still think it makes sense to listen to current guidance, which says still get vaccinated. It's okay to wait a while. You could wait 3 months after infection before getting vaccinated, but I would still recommend it. Those vaccines are so powerful.
And we've heard health officials call the recent surge in cases a pandemic of the unvaccinated. Now we're getting some new numbers on that. In Maryland, the governor's office says every one of the 130 people who died of COVID-19 last month, all of them unvaccinated. And Louisiana's governor says that since February, 97% of the state's cases and deaths have been among people who were not fully vaccinated. So what do those numbers tell you about where we are in the pandemic right now?
Right. The statement that we're in a pandemic of the unvaccinated, it is a bit stigmatizing, which I don't love. But at the same time, there's so much truth to it. It's so disparate that there's so many more cases and hospitalizations and deaths that are occurring in the unvaccinated that I think that we just have to keep trying to, get our, other Americans to roll up their sleeves and take the vaccine. But we're facing a lot of mistrust, in the final 30% of adults who remain unvaccinated. And, I just think that, again, if you can talk to the people that you do trust, whether it's a provider, whether it's a religious figure that you are close to, or whether it's a friend, but a trusted friend, someone that you really think, is making sense. I think that's the way that we have to sort of go door to door at this point to try to get people, vaccinated. It's tricky.
It sure is. Dr. Ellerin, we appreciate your time today, as always. Thank you.
Take care, Diane.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.